Eh, Yeah, thank you so much for being so real. Thanks for taking that decision to move. Honestly, that was a
Mm,
really huge thing. It was a courageous thing that you did. I
yeah, it
I
was.
doubt I
It
could
was,
have
to be
ever.
honest.
Yeah,
Was.
yeah, I doubt I could have ever done it that way. Honestly, you were really bold.
Mm.
So, uh my name is Shade, my people. So you have the most beautiful and pleasant soul here this time around. She's one of us who took the bulls by the horns and decided to move when every one of us, we have many things that we're still trying to do. So she's a registered nurse by profession. She's an articulate one at that, an intelligent one, and an elegant descendant of Florence Nightingale. And so that's who you are having here sitting with me today. I will give her the honor of introducing herself first. Then I'll come back to tell you who I am. You know, anytime you see me like this, you are seeing someone who is bringing good news. And so I'm here again to share good news with you. She will be with me to answer some questions, clear hair on some things that could be hazy to any one of us as we plan towards this journey. My sister, welcome on board. Thank you for honoring my invitation. And so just introduce yourself to us as much as you can. Flaunt yourself, flaunt everything about yourself. Thank you so much. You have the floor.
Okay, my name is Zinnie Onozo. I'm a registered nurse. I'm from Nigeria, Anambra State to be precise. I'm married with two lovely girls. I moved to the UK in the year 2019, just in
Ooh.
quest to find better a better life. So from UK, I moved to Australia last year, and since then, it has been a great time and great experience, great exposure, and great decision. I love to live. I love good life. I
Ooh.
love to work hard, and I love to spend my money also. Yeah, that's just a little about me.
Yeah, you work hard, you must enjoy hard, you must play hard. Yeah, I really actually
Exactly, exactly.
love
Because
that.
we have only one life to live. So
Not
if
only
if
one life.
you are just working and working and working and just maybe working for your kids, at the end you don't have anything to enjoy. Like I've interacted with some of my patients, like older ones, and be like, what do you actually, if we are to turn back the hands of time, what would you say, or what do you regret, or something like that? And most of them, if not all of them, will be like, oh, I would have lived life more. I would have worked lesser, or I would have balanced it better. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Work lesser, balance it better. I'm right, you
Mm.
are my tutor here today. Work
Oh, how can I be?
lesser.
How can I mentor my mentor? Ah, no, no, no.
No, we keep learning every day. So English like that. If you've already been mentored by a mentor, at some point the mentor turns around to you and become your mentee.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually glad that
Mm.
people are really rolling very fine. So you've come to the United Kingdom and you
Yeah.
moved to Australia. You came in 2019. You must have been really, really bold to move because you
Mm,
are
yeah.
close to your ILR. Honest, I can't actually quantify your level of boldness. Do you have anything specifically that drove you into doing that? Why were you motivated into taking that decision? It's not a decision I would have made, honestly. Give me whatsoever you may want to give me. And I'm looking at my ILR like that, and I will just carry body.
Oh my God.
No, I don't feel shake body like
Um,
that. So.
um, to be honest, I know they see ILR, whatever. I can't even, I'm not feeling it, to be
Oh,
honest. So, I'll tell you my story. Before we went to travel to UK, uh, we are trying other countries. That's just the truth. And none, it was just UK that came faster
okay.
due to their registration
Yeah, you
process.
can give it to them,
So,
the
and
mother of them all.
Yes, we must give it to them. Yes, yes. They created that opportunity for us and made us to get to where we are today. So we got to UK, but before then, when you are trying other countries, and UK isn't really like your top priority. So we got to UK, we still had it at the back of our mind. Oh, we still want to leave, but not like we had Australia at the top list. So
Okay.
what
So,
happened was when we stayed in Ashford in Kent. So when we got to Kent, for some reasons, I'll be honest, my husband wasn't feeling the area. He wasn't feeling the country. I don't know, maybe in terms of maybe both the environment, the work, lots were happening, lots of complaints like here and there. Um, on my own side, I would say my experience in UK was just all about work, 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 work. But still, I'm not. I should have been a billionaire by now if compared to the
yeah,
kind of
where
work
did
I've
you
done in the
achieve?
kind of work I've done in NHS. Oh my God, work, 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 work. So
Yeah, but I think
you barely
NHS
have time.
prepares you for anywhere and everywhere.
Exactly, you barely have time for yourself. It's lots of work issues and all, and it's all about pin any small thing, pin you lose your pin, all those kind of tensions and all. So we started thinking of okay, we need to. At first, I thought about writing NCLEX, but we needed to like settle fully in Oxford, in UK, sorry, United Kingdom before I'll start that process. In the process, I lost my mom, so I left all those traveling
I
Japa stories
remember
and
those painful periods.
started to
Yeah,
yes,
God
yes,
bless
yes,
my
all
mom.
those
So,
things
yeah.
happened. So when thanks to Peculiar, when that Australia story came out, then we started our research. I made some calls, researched, and I found out that US was there, but it wasn't my top priority, to be honest. My husband
Hmm.
didn't like US,
I
United
don't as
States.
such either.
So, and exactly, and Canada uh, was there also, but I didn't want somewhere I'll move from UK and I won't be practicing as a nurse. From the little information I got,
Yeah, yeah. Canada
I
was
wanted
really
where
very,
if
very
I was
not
moving to
so.
Canada, yeah, if I was moving to Canada from Nigeria, oh, that's fine. But moving from UK, I wanted somewhere that at least between two of us, if we are getting there, someone should practice his or her profession. And Canada was not really my thing also. So it made me to like focus on researching about Australia the more. And
Hmm.
to be honest, everything I learned about Australia, I don't mean the fake news. I don't mean the ones you hear from internet. I mean the direct, you call, make calls. How is it there? Make every information I got about them, their family life and all, like it kind of made me to like decide, oh, this is the country I want. And I thanks to Peculiar, I followed up the group and I did everything and I didn't even want to look back at all at any point. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was it.
Honestly, I don't think anyone will mention some big things about nurses migration without driving back to Peculiar. That guy was actually sent by God to the Nigerian nurses
Exactly.
so that we can be the
Exactly.
best of whichever versions of ourselves that we want to be. So
Exactly.
you've really come a very long way, many decisions to make, and I salute your
Mm,
courage.
mm.
Honestly, you are a great voice to reckon with when it comes to Nigerian nurses migrating to Australia. I think when we finger point Peculiar, we should pick you as the mama. Mama.
No, no, no.
Yeah, you've been doing a very great and brilliant job for everyone. And I can only pray that God will continue to help and bless you more and more. Yeah,
Amen.
so those were your reasons for considering Australia. Yeah, they were actually really cogent. They were actually
Oh yes.
really cogent reasons to think of a country of choice. Now, could you just run us through a bit of the registration process, please? Things you can remember, things you think what we should do. We create accounts, you know how to pass through. If you're in the United Kingdom, create accounts. You don't need to write English test. You don't need to do CAP and all those things. So which other things should we be looking at?
For the registration process, just as so the registration process, it was just doing the CGFNS registration. And after that, it was quite a little bit time consuming. I just with the transcript things, apply for your transcript with NMC, with schools and all. Then after the CGFNS registration, that's CGFNS New Zealand. Yeah. Then after that, registered with New Zealand. I didn't write any exam. And because we've practiced in UK, we didn't need to write any English test. So after the registration, we proceeded to registering with New Zealand NMC. Then after the registration process with New Zealand NMC, before we registered with Australia Nursing and Midwifery Council. So it's quite easy going through that route because of the relationship New Zealand has with Australia. So with that way, you don't
That's
need to
one.
write. So yeah, so it was quite easy and easier, I would say, registering with us because Australia is, as you know, Australia is very tough because I think I've told you when I came in, because I was planning to write my midwifery exam in UK, OSCE. So
Yeah.
at some point, I was like, let me just leave it when I come to Australia,
Yeah.
not knowing that that would be the end. Because when I got to Australia, I called AFRA. I'm like, okay, I want to register, maybe do OSCE, whatever exam you could have, so I can do my midwifery exam. They were like, no. After the back and forth, the problem, they didn't even come out straight to tell me. They just said, oh, go and do the registration. So I kept on reading. I went to their site, back and forth, and all. So after a long conversation with one of them at one of the times, that one just opened up and was like, to be honest with you, if you do this registration, you get stuck. You might not pass this particular stage because you are from this country. And you didn't do this exam in UK. So
are you canceling?
um,
If there's anyone who wants to look at midwifery, then they should do their registration from here before coming over.
yes, exactly.
So if they do
Exactly.
that,
That is
will they still need to pass through New Zealand board to register as midwives too before they can do that
yes,
APRA?
yes. That is if New Zealand recognizes their own the UK registration practice. Because I didn't register with New Zealand midwifery.
Okay.
You get my point. But
Yeah.
whatever you do in your registration and pass through New Zealand, it will be very, very easier for you in Australia.
All right.
That's the point.
That's.
So
I
yeah.
think people can take that home at least from today's discussion. That if you want to do your registration as just anything whatsoever, if you are in the UK,
Yes,
get it
just
done from the UK, then everything will pan out well. Right?
exactly. If there is anything I would have wished I did then, it would have been my midwifery OSCE, because
Oh,
that is that area I really wanted to
to
go back to when I
practice.
come in.
But is it easier to
Yeah.
practice in midwifery than nursing over there? Or are they better paid? Or why are you thinking midwifery again after all you've gathered as experiences in the
Um,
UK?
I think it's more of passion for me, because when I was in UK, I worked in gynae ward also. So
Oh,
it's yeah, I worked in gynae
that's
ward.
quite
So
understandable then.
exactly. So it's an area I wanted to grow in, and I wanted to end up in and do my
Ah,
higher degrees in. So, but unfortunately, because what the lady was just honest with me on phone. She was like, "If you really want it, that means you have to go back to school." And I'm
oh,
like, "You mean my midwifery license in Nigeria is useless?" No, I don't. I
oh,
mean, I don't have that time.
oh. Are they
I don't have
better
that time. No, I
remunerated?
won't.
Or is it the same level of remunerations for nurses and midwives?
Yes. So, but it depends on where you find yourself in. If it's in remote areas, the salary could be higher.
Oh,
But if it's in government or the normal, it's still the same pay.
so the
It's
remote
still the same
areas
pay.
pay higher than the rural or something like that. I mean, than the
Yes.
urban
Yeah.
areas.
Yes, yes, and still depends on the state.
And when you say remote, what defines remote here? Is it the number of
Um,
people? Is it the distance away from the big cities? Is it about the amenities that you are talking about when you talk of being remote?
Part of it is the distance away from the main city. Yeah, is major distance away from main city because the remote area and also amenities. Because in the remote area, you will not it's not as the big cities. You understand? You will not have the things you have in the big cities in the remote areas. So
Mm. So,
I'll take Tasmania
for example,
yeah, I'll take Tasmania for instance. We all know Hobart is the capital city of Tasmania. Now, we have places inside, like when you talk about Launceston or even Launceston, you have lots of people there. But there are other places that are farther away from the city that
hmm,
you can find a job in, and you get higher. Oh yeah.
yeah. Um, Thank you so much. So, like in
Mm.
the UK, whether you are in the rural area or you are in the urban area, you have
Mm-hmm.
like access to almost all the same amenities. So those
Oh
places we
yeah.
call remote areas, are they like that there? Or when they are remote, maybe some people's kiddies might not get schools, there might be no light, there might be no road networks, connection. I actually learned that Australia's road network is nothing to compare with UK's own, that it's quite a bit not
Mm.
so really brilliant like what we have here. So what are the things
Mm.
that could be appealing to someone who wants to go to the remote area besides the money, or things that could repel someone from choosing the remote area above whichever area one wants to go?
Maybe probably serene environment because the remote areas they're just quiet areas. Um, you don't have it's not as busy as the cities. It's not as busy as the main cities. So it's not you don't have to face traffic.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to yeah, you don't have to face traffic. Oh my god, traffic like where I am now, traffic is very crazy. Somewhere that would take me 26 minutes to my workplace on a normal day. In the morning, sometimes I spend an hour plus
Oh,
to
you're a
work because
city
of
girl
traffic.
then. You love being in the city.
Yeah, so
City
yeah, so
girl.
it's all boils down to what people like.
Okay.
I love being in the city. I love the city life.
Hmm.
I love that busy environment. I would prefer to go on vacation in the rural areas
Oh,
that
yeah.
have things to see
Yeah,
there.
sensible,
That is just me.
sensible.
So yeah,
That's quite
but why
sensible.
some people exactly while some people like I know people that prefer those areas that are very quiet, but that is quiet does not mean that they don't have nights. They still have beaches, and that is what he likes. That is the kind of life he wants. He doesn't want where someone will know that, oh, I'm around, that kind of thing. But here in the city, like here I am now. Like sometimes I come back and and there's a lady that helped us to settle here. She just chats me and be like, "Oh, I saw you. Where did you see me?" That kind of thing. So you don't even know who is seeing you, who's car, because you are in a hold up. Maybe if I go with train, I meet people, people you don't even know that they saw you, that kind of thing. So, but it's not really like that in other places. It might just stay in Australia. Yes, nobody will know that you're around. So just depends. It's choice.
Yeah, honestly, it's choice. And
Mm.
housing wise, accommodation wise, is it much more expensive in the city than in the rural area, or the rural areas are much more expensive? Because some areas in the United Kingdom, when they are rural, they are quite expensive, much more expensive than the
Mm.
cities, because they believe the greenhouse effects are not really touching your body. You are exposed to everything green. You have all those things. So is it better over there, maybe in the rural than the urban when it comes to stuff like that?
With
Any housing?
my own experience, I would say housing in the city is more expensive
Oh,
because that is where the high demand is.
okay.
So many people move there. I will still use where I am, for instance. Getting house here is expensive
Mm.
to live here than places like 30 minutes further away from here, not to the city. If I go 30 minutes further away from here, I'll get a cheaper house. If I go further again, I'll get a cheaper house. But if I'm going towards to the city, I'm going to the expensive places. So it's all about demand because most of the offices are in the city. I mean, the big offices that are in the city, and most of the things happen in the city. Like this period, lots of people moved to Brisbane just because of the World Cup that is coming in, the female World Cup that is coming in. So you
Wow.
can imagine the cost. Yeah, the cost of houses here rose very. So these are the things that happens in the city. So I mean, if you own a house in a remote area, if there are 50 or 20 people coming for viewing there, that means there should be 150 or 200 people coming for viewing in the city. So you can't really compare. The
Okay.
city is more busy.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Now, I could remember that when you left on 482 visa.
Oh
So
yes,
Australia
yes,
have
yes.
different types of visas. Could you educate us a bit about them? What you could cancel people to do, especially if
Yeah,
they're in the best position and they have all factors favoring this and that, what you will cancel with your exposure and
yeah.
experience.
Very important. When I started looking for job,
Yeah.
I applied to many places and none of them agreed to offer 186. That is employer sponsored permanent residency visa.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them were like, some of them were even surprised. What is that? We don't offer that. We don't offer that. So around February, March,
Mm.
my application for my Tasmania application came back and
Yeah.
came back positive, and they insisted on this 482. So the manager called me personally. He was like, "Oh, because he's from Scotland." He said, "Oh, he was actually the one that motivated me." I said, "Don't worry about PR. You don't have problem. Once you come here, you get PR." Now, I was supposed to renew my visa in UK around September.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't want September to catch up with
You
me, so I
actually
needed to
said
leave.
it.
Yeah,
I was thinking, how
I didn't
can
want
this
September.
person be this?
I
Now
didn't.
you
I did. I didn't want that story. No, 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 no. So I said, we kept on pushing, and we are just stuck between, okay, where should we go to? Because I think I got another offer in Victoria,
Oh, okay.
but it's a remote part of, and also in Maroon Beach. I can remember, yes, because
Where
I
is
remember in
Maroon
Maroon
Beach?
Beach people, Maroon Beach. I remember, and they were the ones I kept because that place is like remote, so I kept on telling them,
Which
is it
state
not
is
possible
that?
to offer one? Sorry.
Which state is that, please?
I think it's Victoria, if I remember very
Okay,
well. I
okay,
don't know,
okay.
Either Victoria or New South Wales. I'm not so sure,
All right.
but Maroon Beach. Yeah. So all of them insisted on 482, even the agencies. Now, but the problem is the agencies, they were like that they're going to give 3 years. That is more of 3 years contracts or 2 years contracts, which where we are coming from, UK, this contract in 3 years,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
years. I didn't want I didn't want any long thing with anybody. Do you understand? So I weighed it with the one of Tasmania. Theirs is 1 year. They said after the one within the 1 year they will sponsor for 186. Then from my interaction with the manager said, "Oh, don't worry, in 6 months you'll get your PR. That is sure." That's the same experience he had. Now I had to move on 482 to Tasmania.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you, moving with 482 was a good decision for me because considering the time and all. But moving if we had done more extensive research, we wouldn't have, as a family with my family situation, we wouldn't have moved to Tasmania. I would have chosen another place or maybe I would have exercised a little bit of patience. Because it was the day I applied for the nomination, it came out after some minutes. My manager replied back, "Oh, it's out. Apply for visa." Next thing, I got Geelong update that they can now sponsor for 186. Now, and I called my manager and said, "Oh, Geelong said they can sponsor for 180, but I've already applied for the visa, something like that. But no problem, I'll come in with 482." So what I'm trying to say is we would have done more extensive research before choosing Tasmania, because we did anyway, but the effect it had on us was Tasmania, their job market for dependents. It was a bit of a challenge for my husband to get a job fast. That is because of my own that is because of my family situation.
Okay.
Yeah, that is because of my family situation, because I have dependent kids.
Yeah.
That is, and then he has to look for a flexible job.
Yeah.
Now in Tasmania, because when we came into Tasmania, he started looking for job. Anybody who asks would be like, "Oh, it's difficult to get job here. I found after 6 months. I found after 1 year. I'm like, what? Like, is this how it is?" And we didn't really get that impression, because we had to start calling. They were like, "Oh, it takes lots of time to get job. Just relax, exercise patience." But the main reason is just because we needed a flexible job, and lots of people move to Tasmania for the sake of PR.
Yeah.
So so those flexible jobs are what they go for, most of them. Now, if we didn't have if my kids were independent, it would have been easier, because it would be easier for him to get 8 to 5 job, even if it's with government. Do you understand my point? So it would be easier for him to get 8 to 5 job. But for the fact that he can't do 8 to 5 job, because I do shift job, someone has to be at home, at least for someone that just came into the country or the state. At least you have to be very, very flexible before you can stand your feet. So it's one of the things that if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have gone to Tasmania first. But Tasmania is a great state. The Hobart is a great area. It's a great state.
And I think you actually
enjoyed
enjoyed your team members at work, which what you used to tell me.
Sorry?
I think you enjoyed your team members in Tasmania.
Yes, exactly. I enjoyed them. The work relationship there, and I mean, they were nice. The manager was okay. When you compare to UK, it's not a toxic environment. It's not where, and the practice, when I compare it to UK with my own experience, you are more chilled when you are practicing. Those things that will make you to make error, there are things have been put in place to avoid them already.
Wow.
I'll give you an instance.
Wow. Okay.
Medications like Clexane is signed by 2 nurses.
Okay.
2 nurses. You can't give Clexane if another person doesn't double check.
Wow. So
things like codeine, diazepam, all those things, 2 nurses must sign it.
Wonderful.
So you see those things, even if you are busy, someone must sign it with you.
Wow.
So you see that they put all those things in place. Unlike in our mother country, when you are working, you're under pressure, you give this, and at the end you find yourself making the error because of the pressure. So I think it's part of the things for me. I think it's part of the things that makes you rarely hear someone talking about pin, you lose your pin.
Wow.
To be honest. So I really enjoyed working there, and they have a good work-life balance.
Tasmania alone, or you are practicing elsewhere now? Is this still the same practice where you are now? The double checking and all that?
You mean my current location now? My
Yes,
current
yes. Do you still have to check those things like when you want to
yeah,
do?
yes,
Oh,
yes. You still have to check them. Yes, you still have to check them if you want to give any IVs, any injections. You still double check
wonderful.
with a
That's
nurse.
great then.
Yeah.
And you are leaving me fast. Thank you so much for your openness. Yeah, I was to. We will still come back to these visa types because you jump from 4.8 to you jump
Oh
to.
yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. So the 482, I came in with 482. Then when I came in with 482, then I did express interest for 189 earlier. That is because when I was making my inquiries, people were like, "Oh, you won't get 189.
Why
What's
don't
your
you?
score
I've
sitting
always
on?
believed
If
you
if
will
it's
get it.
it's yeah, if you are sitting on, even with my research also, they were like, if you are sitting on 65, 70, don't bother. There are people sitting on 90 that haven't even gotten
Yeah.
189, so don't bother. So it made me, I didn't bother expressing interest for 189. Now what happened was when I came in with the 482, after a month or so, um they had a nomination
Yeah.
came out, and almost everybody in my ward, even those with 65 points, all of them got it. All of them got nominated for the 189. So that was what made me to like express interest. So 189
Nice.
is more like a federal sponsored PR. Now you have 190 also, which is state sponsored.
Yeah.
So is when you spend 6 months in a particular state, you'll be qualified for that. But you can also apply for that from outside
Awesome.
Australia. So you also have 491, but I wouldn't encourage anyone to go there because I mean
That's if
it's
they have
a
options,
long
if they have alternatives. So because if they don't have it, might
I
be
mean
better than
I
doing
mean
nothing.
I mean I mean for nurses, we definitely have alternative. I believe so. Because
Whoa! Stop it, traffic chicks.
once you once you go for 491, hope you know you can come back and go for another. You just have to be in that pathway for 3 years
For three
before
years.
you get your PR. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. I would rather advise instead of going for the
491.
491,
Yeah.
you go for the 482 when you come in. Then you take your time. You can either get the 186, which is employer sponsored,
Okay.
or the 190 or the 189.
All right. Thank you very much. I do hope people would really understand what you meant by all that. So, what will someone benefit from 189 that they won't benefit from 190? What will someone benefit from 190 that they will not benefit from 491 or 482? As what are the benefits?
For one, I'll start with 189, which is the one I'm on. Is federal sponsored. You're allowed to stay in any state you want.
Yeah.
Um, you're very free. You can move to any employer you want at any time. And I think the main thing is you can stay in any state and with any employer.
And
Now
you
for
don't need
one
to
night,
pay for any nomination. Like you have to pay some
sorry,
states to get nominations.
I have to do what? Sorry.
Like for 189, you don't have to pay for nomination.
Oh yes. You don't have to pay for any nominations. So yeah, that is just you don't pay for any nominations because it's federal sponsored. And for 190 is state sponsored. So you just have to apply for the express interest, then also express interest for that particular state. Please hold on. Hold on, please.
We are happy to have you. Yeah, you had heater.
We have here, we
You
have
had AC too,
yeah, we
right?
have yeah, we have.
Okay, cool. We are seeing differences,
Okay,
big differences now.
okay, let me continue.
Yeah, thank
Come, come,
you.
come, come.
So we are talking about what people stand to gain on one type of visa that they might not have on the other?
Then for 190 is state sponsored. I think I've said that already.
Yeah.
So what is just meeting to stay in the States for a particular time, but still people leave after that anyway. So but it's you can do any job you want in that state. Any job you want. It's
So what do
permanent
you mean
residency
if I
still.
jump in as a nurse on that 190 and I decide to be a teacher, if they give me the job, I can decide not to practice as a nurse then?
Mentor, I don't know that one. Why
You
do you
said
want
I
to be a
can do
practice as
any
a
job
teacher?
now. Okay, what if I decide to be a farmer
I
then?
mean, it's permanent residency, and it's just the main thing is just that you are committing to
To
serving state
the moral
for
obligation to
for a
stay for
particular
2
time.
years.
Yeah, you are just morally obliged
Yeah.
to do this. So,
Okay.
but still, people leave anyway. Then
Um,
for 482 is just like our normal UK work visa. So what it
normal
means is
tier
that
two.
you tier 2 visa, yeah, you just have to stay with this
So you are
employer for
connected and linked and tied to the apron.
yeah. Yeah. So
Okay,
it just
how
means that
about
you are staying with
186?
this employer. Yeah,
How about
you are staying with this
186?
employer. Which one?
186.
Oh, 186 is employer sponsored PR. So
Yeah.
you still have the same benefits with anybody that has PR. The only thing is that you just have to commit to a particular employer for a
Okay.
particular number of time. Most times it's 2 years for some of them. So it's good because it's still PR.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just know that you are still committed to a particular employer for a particular time. And it's not something like you have to take and come in and decide to leave. You can leave, but it's not good. I would say I wouldn't do that. So if the only thing I would say, if anyone is coming in with 186, because I noticed that most people that come in with 186, they have 40 hours contracts, which to be honest, coming from UK, you will not enjoy it when you come in. It's actually fine you have the PR, but when you come in and do it for a few months, you find out that you want to leave. So the only thing I would say, just renegotiate when you come in, because I mean they will actually also they will still bend to what you want, but just when you come in, renegotiate. You can either maybe reduce your hours or something like that instead of just cutting your contract.
All right.
So
Yeah, thank you. I
yeah.
think we will take that home too. That's especially that most people come in are in the childbearing and childbearing age.
Exactly,
It's
exactly,
very, yeah, it's a daunting exposure to
exactly.
especially
I'll
jump
say
from tier
that.
two to such again and be working 37.5 year going to 40 hours there. You have to be
To
committed.
40, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You talked about your Tasmania employers being or co-workers being very lovely, not toxic. Um, are Australian employers mostly like that, or you were just fortunate to just get such people? Do you have people who are complaining bitterly of where they find themselves, maybe in the same, even in the same hospital, sometimes in here or even back at home, you will have some leaders, the managers will be very kind and it will rub on the followers, the co-workers, and everyone will be kind to themselves, to one another. Work could be extremely hectic in such units, but because people are kind to one another, then you enjoy the jobs. But do we have them there too that this manager, we've been hearing about him or her, na Pepe o, na Cameroon Pepe o. Apologies to my Cameroon people.
Honestly, I haven't heard that from anyone. Maybe I'm yet to meet people like that that would tell me that kind such stories. So, but
Okay.
the nurses I know, the nurses I've interacted with, they haven't really. I mean, it's not like you won't have maybe 1 or 2 experiences in
Yeah.
your workplace, but
Yeah.
as for being so toxic that, I mean, you have to, our UK stories and all. I've not, I've not had such, or maybe I'm so prepared, like because of where I'm coming from, that maybe
Otogu.
here is what I'm seeing here. You can't match it to what is there, So I've never heard such. I think they are quite nice people,
All
I
right.
would
Thank you
say,
so
and
much. Maybe the
yeah.
weather too have influence. Yeah, let's talk about this one. I'm sure some people have been scratching their ears to hear this one that we're about to talk about. We are not dicing anybody's salaries. We are not demeaning anybody's pay or take home. We are not fighting against any country's payments or the earning scales. But how is it over there, the payment? Because this one really matters though. If you are leaving matter for Matthias, I think money matter, you cannot actually easily leave that thing for Matthias. So let's have an idea, not what you are earning, but what Australian government is paying to nurses. Is it nice? Is it great? Is it wonderful compared with at least you've touched two other countries before jumping there? And if you look back, would you prefer which one to which? And so please let's have an idea of what the payment is like, and not just the payment, the spendings. Is a different thing for someone to earn paid
Exactly.
and to almost spend 90% of that on daily expenses. So from your exposure, from your experience, Nigeria, UK, Australia, how will you rate the payment? What will you talk about it? I've seen maybe a couple of pay slips online and all that. How are they paid? I've seen something called salary packaging. I don't know what that is all about. What are you packaging? Do we have it subtly in the UK that we don't know? And how do you make extra
No,
money? In the United Kingdom, you do bank shifts, you do extra shifts, you do agencies, you get like sometimes we might look at, if you do agency, maybe you match up with what others are earning in other countries. Tell us a bit of what salaries are like over there. Are they nationalized? Is it general that in the NHS everything is the same all across the nation? Are they paying differently from in each state over there, or do they have that national wage that's what they pay to everyone? So please let's hear so that we can make informed decision. Thank you.
for salaries,
Oh, my senior.
different states they have.
Hey,
Sorry.
senior. What's that about? Is it Ganga? Ganga? Oh, Ganga. Say hi to
How are
mommy.
you? Hello.
All right, she joins in the conversation.
Okay. Welcome. Um, Different states have their own pay. Then each state, they have the pay levels. I'll take Tasmania for instance. They have grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. So grade 3 in Tasmania, I think is grade 2 in Victoria, but it's still the same level in terms of pay.